Chainsaw Man!
Listen, we have our Kakashi training arc. Let's go.
Yep.
Bro.
Let me just go back to my timeline because I posted that. Like, holy shit.
It does kind of remind me of how Kakashi would, like, fuck with them in early days of Naruto, except, you know, it's going to be a lot more intense because it's Chainsaw Man.
I love booze and women and killing devils.
Let me translate that, because, like, what he's really saying there is, like, you know, when you say you love women, you're basically saying, like, I love getting fucking hammered and fucking some bitches and slaying some demons, and that's the Triforce of my life, essentially.
So, I want to know everything about this character because he just became my spirit animal.
Wait, what demons have you slayed?
My personal ones, I guess.
Well, yeah, all right, that's fair. Wow, that got deep. All right, first let's appreciate the color page of Power.
Yeah. Yeah.
So many best girls in this series.
Everyone. Literally fucking everyone.
Oh, by the way, shout out to that guy that left the weird comment that said he was just here for Chainsaw Man. How's it going, man? We really had a kick out of your comment.
Oh shit, man.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, that's a great color page. Now there's a lot of things to talk about. First is, I think the theme of this chapter that I really picked up on is the author is hammering in that point that they've been hammering in consistently, which is the difference between someone who keeps their emotions intact and someone who completely loses their emotions. That theme ran throughout this entire chapter, and that's what I picked up on. So examples here is Aki, of course, is in the hospital here. And you have these two who you think are just there to visit him, to be genuinely good friends. They're not. They're just, they're fucking around. Power just wanted the quote-unquote get-well fruit.
Fruit.
So immediately it's like, oh, wow, are you here to support me? Nah, man, we're just here to, like, fuck around. Bye. And then, of course, there's this really emotional scene that you're reading. And really good, and I got emotional where he's like going to, you know, he asks his demon how long he has left to live. He's got 2 years. So then he goes like, well, okay, in my mind I'm saying like, okay, well, of course, why who cares at that point? Smoke as much as you want, right? So he goes for a cigarette. Apparently, you know, she used to light them for him, the one that died.
Yeah.
And that really got me, and he starts to break down and cry, and I'm sitting here like, damn, that's fucking heavy. And then you turn the page and Denji's like, damn it, I left my manga there, and he's crying. This is weird.
I'm gonna go. I'll come back for it. That
was such a Saitama moment. I don't know if, like Saitama, this whole thing reminded me of when Saitama was visiting Moomin Rider in the hospital, and he brought like a whole bunch of bananas, and then he was like, oh, are those for me? And Saitama's like, no, these are my snacks, bro. I'll give you one, I guess.
Oh my god.
But again, it works. It's a 2-bird, 1-stone situation, narratively speaking, because again, you have it's funny as a jarring comedic moment, but it's also like, I really love how it juxtaposes what Puke Girl was always saying about Aki, which was, I like you because you kept your emotions intact, you know?
Right.
And you see the juxtaposition. Aki in this chapter is the only person. It is not just him and compared to like Denji and Power here. There's more. So, you know, you see him here crying. Denji and Power don't give a fuck, you know, and it's awkward to them. Then these other 2 people come in, sent by Makima. They're also douchebags because they walk in and they're like, oh, were you crying? That's awkward. Like, I was like, dick.
No shit, man.
So look at how numb to death they are. Like, they're so numb to it all. They're like, what? You're crying? What? You know, like it's like they're shocked.
What?
Like, oh, you know, just like literally dozens of your comrades just died, and they acted shocked that he was crying. I think that this whole chapter, the underlying tone for me was just showing, we've heard it said many times, but just showing how truly numb most of these devil hunters are, and how different Aki is compared to them. I thought it was powerful as fuck.
I mean, even you can see that fucking Denji's starting to get numb to it too.
I know, and exactly. That's why that's the theme of this chapter. And again, the strength of this mangaka, he is so good at character stuff. Like every time the characters are having an inner monologue.
Yeah, he's definitely.
Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. That's something that's really weak in a lot of, you know, the earlier and some of our modern shonen is like the character development is just utter garbage. I mean, look at the current Promise Neverland shit.
If not garbage,
And
just average. I mean, even like I love One Piece, but there's never moments where they're having like
there's
deep introspective thought like this, you know?
no, there really
Yeah.
isn't.
And like, even like stuff like My Hero, like you're not having like this deep like. There's something different about it, and I really appreciate it. And I'm trying to think here. So yeah, because with the Denji talk, I love that because he's just like he's really questioning it. He's like, why don't I feel sad? Like she almost fucked me. Like she was nice to me. I had a moment here. He remembers these like blushy moments. You know, she was his first kiss, as bad as that kiss was. You know, so like he has this like inner monologue of like, okay, well, what if this person died? And even with Makima, is like, you know, I'd get over it. So like, what you're seeing here is,
it's like he's lost all humanity the second he made a contract.
you know what it reminds me of?
What?
Have you seen or read Parasite?
I have seen, yes.
So you remember how when Migi, the pan parasite, took over
Yep.
his hand or whatever, same thing happened to him. There's a very infamous scene that I love in that series where he's walking with this girl he likes, and there's a dead dog on the fucking street. And you know, she's like, oh my god, we should bury it at least. And he's just like, I mean, it would be pointless. At this point, it's just a dog-shaped lump of meat. And then he picks up the dog body and throws it in the dumpster. So, like, he lost his humanity, and he didn't even realize he was. So, we're kind of seeing that with Denji here, where he's like, he's in the middle process of, like, losing it, but also kind of being aware. And I'm going to guess it's not something to do with the contract itself, but more something to do with the fact that the dog, the demon actually replaced his heart, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely, yeah, it's just like that, really. I'm like, that's what's weird about this manga is, like, it doesn't really sit in that traditional shonen format.
Weird in a good way, by the way.
Yeah, it gets more into the more mature topics, unlike what we are used to in Shonen Jump now, where it's all targeted towards young kids. You have your rare gems like Chainsaw Man, you have your Hunter x Hunter that are allowed to...
That are one step away from ascending.
Yeah, they're basically one step away from ascending, that are allowed to kind of buck the mold and get into more deep and thought process topics. Like, we have the depression, we have the loss of humanity, we have the sheer loss of hope, really, that we're seeing here, and even the last few chapters of Hunter x Hunter, where you're fucking against all odds watching countless people fucking die.
Yeah. I think we're seeing that in general with a lot of new shonen manga. Like, I think they're aware that they need to let certain authors push the boundaries. And luckily we're seeing that. And I am very happy that Chainsaw Man's actually doing well. I'm not sure if you know, they're talking about how well the volumes are selling. And honestly, like, this gave me the vibe of one of the, like, I really thought when I first started reading this gave me the vibe of a series that would be amazing but not do well. You know, like Red Sprite or
Demon's Plan.
Yeah. Like I was really nervous. I was like, this is gonna be. So I'm happy to see that people like it, and it's.
I think people are tired of the generic, you know, superpowered bullshit that we're so used to.
You know, this manga, what it does so well is it perfectly mixes the kind of, remember how the Mother's Basement video about, like, you know, just turn your brain off and enjoy for the Fooly Cooly. It mixes that with the action scenes. It is truly turn your brain off and enjoy the fucking carnage, but then it goes to, like, these deep introspective character moments that I just love.
Exactly.
It really hits the balance well. And let's see here. So I guess, yeah, we have Makima. And by the way, I do love the author continuing to blue balls us with Makima, where he's like, oh, are you going to be training us? And she's like, no, I'm busy now. Like,
yeah, I'm busy rectifying everything that went wrong here. So
I'm busy being fucking mysterious. Bro, did you see all the comments? Here's something we can talk about to make this video longer than 10 minutes. There were comments in our last video about Makima potentially being, like, a bad guy. You know, because, like, she seems manipulative. What do you think about that?
She's definitely manipulative, and I think it comes with a purpose, really. Like, she wants to stay kind of mysterious, kind of in the shadows, and use everybody around her to get her fucking way.
Potentially wanting to do it that way to not get emotionally attached, potentially.
Exactly. Because look at what surrounds her.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to kind of be that emotionally disassociated in a fucking field like this, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you're a therapist. I'm pretty sure they tell you, to not let yourself get emotionally attached to each individual.
Don't become a Harley Quinn, essentially.
Yep. Yeah. So, I don't know, man. Now, here's the question. With this guy, I love again, it goes along with the theme. Like I said, the questions he asks them are basically trying to gauge, do you guys have these emotions, right? So he asks, what did you think when your comrades died? Denji is nothing really. And then Power, best girl. I thought, they're dead.
I thought they're dead.
Oh, she's so cute. Okay, what do you want? Revenge? They're both like, not really. Which again, I see that. I love this because how many shonen have you seen where it's like revenge?
Exactly.
So
I'm like,
what? And remember, you actually fell into this trope too. Because remember when you were talking about wanting Makima to die? One of your big reasons was so he could have the revenge plot. This manga outsmarted even you, who wanted it to outsmart you, who you wanted it to go outside of the norms, and it went outside even more of the norms.
Yeah, exactly.
Wanted. So they're not even doing revenge plot. Like that's just so unique to me. And they're doing the apathetic main character.
I'm actually shocked that they went that way.
Yeah, it almost reminds me of like early Rick from Rick and Morty, like just the truly like ambivalent, apathetic towards everything type character.
Yeah, definitely. I'm loving this new edgy jump. That's all I can really say here.
Yeah.
Like it really, everything that's come out lately has been more of like, we're going to take your stereotypes that you're so used to, your fucking tropes, we're going to fucking tilt them on their head. And with Chainsaw Man, it's like tilting that all the way back around, and I fucking love it. We're so used to the Sasuke rage boner, I want my revenge.
Yeah, because I still think it's crazy that even you were like, oh yeah, Denji will probably have a revenge story at some point. But it's looking like they're not even going to go down that path, and I'm very proud of them for that.
Yeah. If they continue down this path, I'm curious how much further they're going to continue this fuck everything you know about shonen.
Well, I think with Denji, what the logical path with Denji is he's got to kind of explore his humanity and like because like his whole thing, his theme so far has been what makes me happy, right?
Right.
And this chapter he was exploring what would make me sad, and he found out not too much. So if he's losing his heart and humanity, would his happiness start to slip too? Like I feel like if he found himself becoming like a neutral state where nothing even changed his emotional state, period, he wouldn't like that and he'd fight against that. Because he still wants to be happy. So, like, I'll be curious to see him kind of fight the losing of emotions. Because I still think he wants at least some level of emotions, Yeah. And
I think he's going to have to find that middle ground of where he's comfortable in every emotion, while at the same time having enough of a lack of emotion to get attached to everything around him, especially now they saw how quickly his comrades can die.
Yes. I would argue though that emotions are what makes us, human. I think emotions, while painful at the time, are valuable to life, I always have thought that. So I look at this chapter and I think Aki is in the best position. I'll be honest with you. I don't think this emotionlessness, this apathy is healthy. I think you should never let yourself become numb to death, because that is how you get more death.
True.
How do you just look at any country ever? They any country with a shitty military, and by shitty I mean like abuse of human rights. Like what happens is they allow themselves to dehumanize their enemies. They become numb to human death and human suffering, and then they become more of it. So I think it's quite important that there should be devil hunters that have emotions like this, because when you're run by emotionless people, you're gonna like blink away death like it's nothing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think Aki is gonna be what this chapter's done it's made Aki more interesting to me. Like Aki was kind of just like, okay, he's kind of interesting. Now he's really interesting to me because he is now the outsider to me. He's the one that has emotions. He's kind of the different one of the group. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, he definitely is the different one. But you also realize that this is kind of their military. This is kind of their special forces. So being apathetic serves their purpose here as well.
I don't care. Like that's what's wrong with military. Like that's
it's definitely wrong with military, but it's
because you lose the human touch. Like if you hold on, if you want them to be apathetic, like let's apply this to real life military. If they need to go in there and be completely disassociated from everything they're doing, why not just send in, you know, machines to kill everyone? And yes, before you make the joke, I'm aware we're going towards that with drones and shit, but like that's the point. Like
I wasn't going to even go there yet.
Well, I went there before anyone else goes there because we are. And I mean, look at like or Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear Solid 4. It opens up with them using the nanomachines in soldiers' bodies to nullify their emotions, you know? Oh, yeah. So, like, or Black Mirror. There's an episode where they literally use hologram tech in their fucking, like, eyes to make them think they're fighting, like, these alien creatures when really it's just poor people.
Yep.
So, like, it's always about dehumanizing and numbing yourself. And someone who is numb to death is a perfect puppet to any organization like this.
You're not wrong at all, but I also see the military's aspect of it. Like, you have to not feel that compassion for your enemy in the moment. Yeah, you can mourn later, but at the same time, you have to actually turn off all brain.
I don't think that's kind of dangerous, though. I mean, especially considering like American military, a lot of times like the people were fighting. You know, we pissed them off in the first place. We typically, how many wars can you think of where, like, you know, that we were invaded? You know what I mean? Like, typically it's us invading them, and then we kill a lot of their citizens. You know, and usually it's for oil. So
arguably,
like,
we haven't had that side of things since World War II.
No, the last war that meant anything was World War II, for sure. The last war that was, like, you know, for a good cause is what I mean by that. Like, anyone that fought in any other war besides that, I have nothing but the utmost respect for you because you did a duty. I just don't like I think the country used you for bullshit purposes, but respect you specifically. But point being there is that I think that just in that scenario and in a scenario like this here, you want soldiers that are not just turning off their brain and blindly following the establishment or the leader. You kind of want a soldier that's going to use his mind and think, okay, is what we're doing really the right thing here?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You have to think in that capacity as well. I mean, even in today's wars, we have that issue where you have the blind leading the blind, and then you also have those that think with rationality.
There was a story, there was a guy running for something that, I'll send you the Kyle Klinsky video on it. There was a guy running for something that, and he was telling like a personal story to try to like get like emotion points, but really just made him come off as a freak. He was talking about how like, he was like on a platoon or something, and his commanding officer told him to fire on a house or whatever, and then the person that he hit was like a young 10-year-old child, and his commanding officer told him to not help the child because like maybe there's a bomb on the child or something. And I get that, I understand that's a concern, but like you're at that once the point stands, they've numbed themselves to murdering children. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why I look at Aki here and I'm like, Aki's got it right. He's not allowing himself to become dehumanized or dehumanize others.
Yeah, exactly. There's got to be that fine line, really, but who knows how far this aspect is going to go, or if we're just talking out of our ass here.
No, I mean, I think this kind of conversation is exactly what I love about these discussions.
Oh, like, yeah, definitely.
Even if I don't know how many people review Chainsaw Man, I'm guessing not a lot. I'm sure that will change as people jump on to the bandwagon. But
Looks of Promise Everland.
Yeah. But point being there, like, I think that even when you have people reviewing it, like let's say Chibi jumps on. Again, I love Chibi, but he is kind of like, if manga reviewers are flavors of ice cream, Chibi is vanilla soft serve. He does the job. You're not going to get anything like fantastical about it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, he has to tout that line of, I'm sponsored content.
Yeah, no, I think he does a perfectly well job. But my main point is you're going to get a lot of people just kind of breaking down the chapter. What I like about what we do here is that we really go deep into the conversations and the themes of the chapter.
Be it militarization, be it sex jokes.
Chaos, but slightly controlled.
Very little control.
One last thing I wanted to talk about here was the last question this guy
slime
asked.
Cock.
Oh yeah, the poison cock from the One Piece review. Yes, watch the One Piece review if you're interested in that one. Anyway, the last question this guy asks is, who do you have loyalty to, humans or demons or devils? And I love that the answer to that one I think is the most fascinating because it shows that they truly would flip-flop like that. There's no loyalty whatsoever for either of these two. And that's surprising, even with Denji, that's surprising. So, like, obviously, power is, okay, whoever's winning. So that's interesting because that could flip at any time. So power literally could be fighting against them at any moment. You know what I mean? Like, if they go against the Gun Devil and he's just ripping ass, then, you know, like, Power's gonna be like, well, fuck you guys, you know? I see the winning side here.
Yep.
But with Denji, it's whoever will take care of me. And that's the interesting part is you do kind of have a devil taking care of him because the reason he's alive is a devil. But at the same time, of course, humanity has the toast and the toppings for toast and beds and, you know, so, like,
and
that
porn.
is interesting too. It makes Denji a very, like, true neutral type character, you know?
Yep. It's fascinating because
this whole fucking chapter is fascinating.
It shows this is probably more common than just these two as well. Like, when you think about it, because they know they're in a fucking battle that can go either way at this point. So it just comes down to survival instincts.
Yeah, they really are just at this point. They're nothing more than like humanized, like police dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. It's going to be interesting going forward, too, because now we got the training arc. Meanwhile, we got all the espionage.
I cannot wait to see how Chainsaw Man does a training arc. I cannot fucking wait.
But you also have Makima's espionage bullshit with her, essentially, MI6.
Bro, are we going to get a side story with Makima? Like, dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, we got the James Bond Mission Impossible.
Give me a James Bond intro with Makima, please.
Either James Bond or Mission Impossible. Give me that shit.
But instead of like the fucking thing where like, you know, he shoots and then like the red graphic comes down, she just grabs the cameraman's hand and puts it on her boob. You won't kill me. Look at my tits. They're beautiful.
So somebody make that and I'll link my PayPal and I'll pay you some money for that shit.
Animated in Paint.
No. It has to be well edited.
Edited, not animated. Go to Retro Rhino, bro. Honestly, dude, I wonder if Ryan knows about this series. I got to get him to draw Makima, like, honestly.
I got to get him to draw my consensual chainsaw sex shirt.
That was my idea, bitch.
You won't fucking do it, so I'll do it.
Fine. But no, I actually, though, thinking about it, I would love to see Ryan style Makima because, you know, there's like no fan art of Makima right now, period. You know?
No.
Maybe in the deep recesses of the internet, but like it's not like easy to find. In fact, I have to see if this series has a subreddit. And I will check that later. But point being, I totally got to get Ryan to draw Makima because that'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Final thoughts on this chapter and predictions. And he's just choking them out in the final page.
Yeah, pretty much. That's going to go to Rule 34 quick.
Well, he's a strong boy immediately. So.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Moving forward, we got to get the training arc. It's going to be really interesting to see that. Because, let's be realistic here, nothing is traditional in this series.
Oh, I know. I can't wait to see what they do.
So instead of, like, fucking 1,000 years of death, he's just going to choke them out with his fucking powerful arms.
Yo. No, instead of 1,000 years of death, he's actually going to pull his cock out and butt fuck them. Am I wrong?
Oh!
I mean, it's Chainsaw Man. Would you be surprised? There are fucking chapters of this series that I'm like, did I accidentally go to hentai? Am I reading a hentai right now? Let me double check.
Jesus Christ.
He literally, one of the 3 things he loves is women. I'm actually concerned for Power right now. I'll be honest. Even, like, Power, who has, like, no social, like, norms in her head at all, Power looked to Denji and was like, yo, this guy's creepy.
Yeah.
Like, look at me and what I do. This guy's creeping me out.
This guy's creeping even me out.
So, I mean, I'm very excited. I'm just in case it's not obvious. Of course, nothing, like, overtly sexual is going to happen, but something subvertly...
You're not going to get with it.
Subvertly sexual might happen.
Something very subtle might happen. Who knows? Uh,
I love the sexual humor in this series. I'll be honest. It's very fun to me.
it really is. I don't think there's going to be consensual but sex here.
No.
It's going to be. Let's see. What I would love to see in the first little bit of this training arc is this guy's backstory, because he's one weird motherfucker.
I know. Well, again,
he's like Jiraiya mixed with Kakashi mixed with fucking Might Guy all in one.
He strikes me as someone who, again, going with the theme of this chapter, has just kind of, he's made his life completely about the shallow pleasures. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely.
So like Feel Good Inc. is a song about how people get distracted by shallow, temporary pleasures, and they ignore the pleasures that are right in front of them that actually would be long-lasting, like friendship and love and like, just like spiritual wholeness. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, this guy is someone who I think has been through so much shit that he just, like, without even being, like, unashamedly, I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to say it, just, like, completely unabashedly is just like, yep, hello, new friends. Just so you know, off the bat, my 3 favorite things are fucking, drinking, and killing fucking demons. That's my life. So, like, he does give me the vibe of someone who's just like, that's my life now, and I've given up a long time ago trying to make my life anything more than that, And,
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, hey, nothing wrong with that on the surface. I do think that he's probably got a lot of deep pain on the inside that he's probably just either repressed or he's gotten, once again, so numb to at this point.
It's definitely something he's using to mask himself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's someone who's trying to drown his sorrow in fucking drinking and murdering.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I think he's going to be fascinating. This manga continues to fascinate. I'm very excited. For me, that's
so.
Oh, yep, no, if you had something else, what's up?
What would you say the next 5 chapters really need to be?
I think... So I'll be curious what I need to... I mean, I don't see... With how fast-paced this manga is, I don't see it all being the training. If the author wants the training to be long, he could flash back and forth between it, like a chapter of the training, a chapter of what Makima's up to, a chapter of what Aki's up to. He could very well do that. I wouldn't mind that. I'm not too sure. It really... Because, I have no idea what he's going to do with the training. So... It's going to depend on that. I'm excited to see the training, but I hope that he cuts between to other stuff, because I think that if he just stuck on the training for too long, the pacing could start feeling like it was slowing down. I kind of want to see what's going on everywhere, as long as it's not switching so much that it's distracting.
Yeah, it can't do the Promised Neverland switch between groups kind of shit, because that really fucks with the pacing.
I think they could do a chapter of each, chapter of training, chapter of Aki, chapter of Makima, potentially.
Yeah.
In fact, maybe not even Aki might just straight up just be chilling in the fucking hospital. So it might just be, okay, what's Makima up to? Because, I mean, the I'm busy was shady as fuck.
Yeah, it's definitely... What I've noticed, the last few chapters is they love to blast through shit. And it's not that it's a bad thing.
It doesn't feel too fast to me.
No, it doesn't feel too fast. It doesn't feel too slow. And that's something I really respect about this manga is, you definitely don't have the this is taking forever versus, the way too fast shit that you get with other manga too. So what I'm thinking we're going to do is a little bit of the flashing back and forth between the two teams kind of thing. But what I want out of the next 5 is I want to know what the hell this organization that Makima is trying to rebuild is going to be comprised of. Because if they're going up against more Gun Devil sympathizers, if you want to call them that, they're going to need to be more prepared than they were this time, obviously. And it seems like Makima was the only one that was fucking prepared for this shit. And just willingly sacrificed 90% of her group.
I mean, I don't think she... It's not that she willingly sacrificed them. It's not like she was willingly sacrificed implies that she led them to their deaths on purpose. I don't think she wanted them to die, but I think that she was like, okay, well, they're dead. All right.
It seems very suspicious that she's like, I'm just going to rush this off.
Well, no, to me, she's the leader of this organization where random-ass scrubs are that numb. Like these motherfuckers that just walked in, well, okay, maybe they're not scrubs, another part of this, high-end division, whatever. But like, you know, these random no names, maybe they have names, but I don't know them. They walk into Aki and they're numb to all this. So like, of course Makima's going to be. It does not shock me in the slightest that Makima's like numb to this. I mean, how many fucking platoons of people do you think she's fucking seen come and go? You know.
It's shady as fuck at the very least. So I want to know what.
Shady, okay, what's shady to me is not her numbness to the deaths here. What's shady to me is her clear manipulative tendencies. That's the shady part.
Yeah, that too. So we gotta see what the hell's going on behind those doors, at least a little bit. We definitely also need to know a little bit more about this training shit, this guy's backstory. I would hope we get a little bit, like, before they sit down and train, they do the traditional, like, sit down, well, this is how I got here kind of thing. And this is my strength, this is my weakness, blah, 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 kind of. Here's how I'm going to train you. I'm going to lock you in this room and torture you.
I'll be curious what the training method is, because I've seen plenty of I've seen my share of training methods, from JoJo to Hunter x Hunter to Bleach to, you know, like, a lot of them, surprising amount of them, involve a huge hole in the ground that they kick people into. So I hope that JoJo Please and Bleach had that one.
Yeah, let's not go the JoJo Bleach kick into the hole in the ground and just various methods of bullshit come at you.
No, yeah, I think whatever it is, it's gonna be some shit that's gonna like blow our minds and be like, what? It's gonna be weird, like.
And no Danger Room-esque My Hero Academia shit.
Yeah, and considering it's training, like, I'll be curious what he can do to give them the quote-unquote anime power-ups. Because, like, what I like about Chainsaw Man is it has just enough of a shonen-ness. Because there are certain aspects of shonen that I like. Like, I like the power-up. Like, it's the guilty pleasures of shonen. I like the power-up stuff. I like the slowly escalating in power and, like, the different, like, you know, like, oh, you know, train, defeat this villain, train again.
Keyword, slow escalation.
Say what?
Keyword slow escalation, not Dragon Ball Z.
Well, yeah, slow escalation, everything. But also there's a really good video. I've mentioned it many times. It's one of the best videos I've ever seen on this topic. You have to escalate and de-escalate. So, like, the key is, and this manga is already doing it well, right? Because it's all about catching your reader off guard. So the key is to escalate, de-escalate, escalate, de-escalate. So if you look at early One Piece, you'd have a lot of, like, okay, really intense arc with a big ass boss, you know, and then down to a chiller arc with a less big threat, right? So it would be like, okay, we just came off from Sky Island, Eneru, dude who claims to be God, electricity powers, holy fuck. And now, you know, we're just having this fun little Pirate Olympic Games with this wacky dude that has a slow-mo beam. And now we're back to the Admirals, holy fuck, you know. That's escalation and de-escalation. This manga's doing it in the same way, where it's like, holy fuck, huge crazy-ass fight in the hotel with, you know, him chainsawing this fucking thing, drinking its blood to perpetually chainsaw it. What the fuck? And then, oh yeah, now we're just chilling at a restaurant having fun. And oh my god, who's this hoodie girl and the katana man? What the fuck? Holy shit, Denji's cut in half. Oh, and now we're just back to chilling again at the hospital and talking, and we're training our. That is the classic formula that works.
I'm kind of disappointed he immediately got his legs back.
Yeah, me too. No, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, you know. And people pointed out in the comments that it has been shown in the past that he can regrow limbs.
Yeah, it's obviously he can regrow limbs, but I wanted him to go to like a little
Deadpool slow growing back situation.
Exactly. Yeah, it's with this series that they show that, you know, kind of like Hunter x Hunter, like, you have the real world threat of, you know, guns being very, very real threats. You have fucking no matter your bullshit abilities, they can still end your life.
No matter your I do love that. I love anime where they don't nerf guns, man. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
so,
it's so good.
There's so much that they can do with this whole training arc. They could, you know, maybe have, like, fucking M16s. They're like, and I want to see you defend
Alright,
yourself
time to learn to dodge bullets.
Exactly, like you.
Wait, bro, you know the movie Dodgeball?
If there's ever, dodge a wrench,
if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge an AK-47 round of bullets.
So, you know, if there was ever a chance for them to pull the Promised Neverland bullshit, here's $1 million guns thing, it's here. And Denji, you turn into the Chainsaw Man and see how much you can tank.
One last thing I wanted to bring up here. Because, see, look, this is... when Chainsaw Man goes into deep character shit, you can talk about it fucking ever. It's so good. So, the last thing here Do you notice how Power and Denji walk around? They walk around together like they're a fucking couple.
They really do.
Like, there's a fucking panel here where she's, like, clinging onto him, and it's really cute. So, like, there's a strange relationship between them where it's like, I mean, you know, obviously Power is not feeling, like, a genuine love to him, but at the same time, I feel like it's just, like, it's either one of two things. It's either A, just carnal lust, because they're both devil, half devil, yada yadas. So, like, you know, it's either that.
And both deviants.
Yeah. So it's either that, which I could totally see, you know, like a Harley Quinn Joker scenario, maybe, you know, or it's, hold on. It was, I had a thing. What was it? Oh, yeah. Damn it. No, you fucked me up. You made me think of Harley Quinn. It's okay. I'll have to edit this. What the fuck was it? I had a thing. Hold on. I'll just edit this part out. I got to think about this. Hold on. I had a good point.
While you're doing that, I'm going to remind Thurman to get his ass ready.
Okay. What the fuck was it? That's going to bother me. Bro, I get going on like a train of thought, and then one little thing fucks me, and I'm like, uh-oh,
derailed.
What the fuck was it? Okay, why would they be clinging? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, it's either that just, like, carnal lust thing, or maybe there's, like, some sort of solidarity there because they're both, like, devilmen. And, you know, I'm not sure. What are they calling it again, where they're, like, half and half? Is it devilmen that they're calling it?
Shit.
Because I don't want to... It sounds like I'm talking about Devilman Crybaby now. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But, like, you know, they're both kind of like the half and half hybrid thing. So, like, there's an interesting relationship with them where it's I see it as more complex than it looks because it's not a legitimate relationship, but they're clearly close.
Exactly.
But the weird part is they're not, at least from Denji's perspective, because Denji was like, if she died, no, I wouldn't care. So it's very strange.
A lot of this shit is very strange.
But
like
in a good way.
The whole relationship, almost quadrangle that they had going on here between Power, Puke Girl, and Makima and Denji.
I mean, she's always like practically crawling all over him, even when they're eating the fruit. Like they have you know what it reminds me of? Their relationship reminds me of like two cats. You know what I mean? Like you know when you see cats like rubbing up against each other and they're like chilling, they look like friends, and then they'll and fight. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They're just like they're comrades, like they're friends. They chill. They'll be next to each other, but like they're also like fuck you, like siblings. I don't even know. Like there's a lot of things I could say that would kind of fit, but it's really really strange.
It's like an Alabama relationship.
Ugh. Yeah. Actually, maybe. I don't know.
I had to make it weird.
No, it's fine. And with David making it weird, final thoughts?
Peace. I'm done, man. Peace.
Wow. I was giving you a chance to not end it on the weird.
I've already made this shit awkward enough.
Peace.